Okay guys, we got big ones. Let's get it open here. Alrighty. Oh, we got some good stuff here today. Alright, look at that. A silver Game Boy Pocket in pretty terrible condition. We're gonna IPS mod that thing. This one is in pretty good condition. Actually, not too bad. We got Super Famicom controllers, Wii U power supply, Wii U gamepad charger, a DS Lite I won for $13 at auction, some Super Famicom games, some Super Famicom games, a Super Famicom, pretty yellowed, but not bad. Will clean up pretty well. Another Super Famicom controller. More Super Famicom games. Some DS consoles I won for a pretty good price. Star Fox 64. Super Mario World. Another DS I won at auction. Super Famicom power supply and AV cable. The Neo double games in transparent yellow. Make sure to check that video out. The Wii U console. Wii U gamepad needs a cleaning. Game Boy Advance I won to mod. HDMI cable. Some DS games. And another Super Famicom. Up. There we are. So first off, we have this Super Famicom here. I got two controllers with it and a copy of Super Mario World. This Super Famicom is definitely quite dirty and needs a pretty good cleaning. This Super Famicom is actually going to a subscriber trade-in for this Nintendo Game Boy Advance and this Nintendo DS Lite. This thing has a scratch on the screen. I'll just sell it in its condition. And then this one here, it's gonna get a new glass screen lens and a new battery cover. And that one's actually in really good condition. So, pretty good trade. I'm giving him this Super Famicom imported from Japan. And then I'll give him some of the games as well, which we'll get to in a minute. So yeah, let me just clean up this Super Famicom real quick. I cleaned up the Super Famicom and removed all the little stains. I'm going to continue to clean it before I send it out, but there it is. That's pretty awesome. Purchased another Super Famicom. This one, on the other hand, is in very good condition. Boom. Would you look at that one. That is pretty good. Hey, that is pretty awesome. Comes with a controller of matching quality. Never seen a Super Famicom before, so that's kind of nice to see. Alright, let's start taking a look at these Super Famicom games. Come on. Alright, there we go. Yoshi's Island, and I don't know what that is, but I think that's Mario Collection. Pretty cool. It comes with the manuals. Really nice way to package it. 1, 2, 3. We have here Super Mario Kart and Super Mario World in these matching crystal protective boxes, which are pretty awesome. Never seen those before. Wow. 4, 5. I got a few more. Kirby's Super Deluxe. That is awesome. 6. Not sure what that is, but I think I've played it. 7. Awesome. 8. He's gonna really like that one in the trade up. 9. Another Yoshi's Island. 10. We've got 10 Super Famicom games. That's a lot of them. Yeah, I'm gonna give him 6 of these games. He can select which ones he wants, and then I'll try to sell the others, or I might consider keeping them. But hey, that's pretty cool. Nice to see these in. Alright, so here is something that's pretty awesome. I won this on an auction for a very, very good price of only $23 for this as-is Nintendo Game Boy. This Game Boy Advance has a burnt polarizer and is not in very good condition. Let's get some batteries in it and see if it works. Let me get some other batteries. Alright, the diagnosing begins. So this unit is displaying what seems to be no power, which I was expecting because of how dirty and gross this one is. It doesn't surprise me that it needs the power switch to be cleaned before it will want to power on. So I will be doing a video on this one, maybe a short, so check that out when it gets posted. Subscribe if you want to see this one get modded. This is gonna get a transparent blue shell with white buttons is what I'm planning, so I can't wait to try that out. Next up, one for $15 at auction is this black Nintendo DSi. Got some human hairs in here, it's always nice to see. Okay, there it is. It's a little scuffed up, it's not in the best condition, but honestly pretty clean. Let's see if it works. Factory reset, but we have a tiny bit of yellowed screens, but nothing that is too bad. Pretty good. Gonna give it a bit of a cleanup, and then I'll sell that one as it is. After a bit of testing, of course. Next up, one for $13 at auction. It's gonna need a bit of magic eraser, I can already tell, but a coral pink Nintendo DS Lite. Bit of yellowed screens, pretty bad down there, but these are pretty popular because people don't really care for the yellowed screens. So this one should go for a pretty good price. Pretty good find. I'll be able to sell it for a good $30, $40, and to make a little profit off of that one. And here are the last 2 DS consoles I purchased. One for about $20 at auction. About $25. I was expecting them to go for a bit higher because these are in pretty decent shape. Let's see how this DSi is doing. That isn't a scratch, luckily. That was a smear. I thought that was a scratch on the screen, but it seems to be a smear. Of course, I'll update later if it isn't. But hey, that one's not in too bad condition either. It's a little worn, but nobody will hate on that. So yeah, I'll clean that up and sell it. And last here, I was kind of excited for this one. We got a DS Original in fairly good condition, which is kind of rare for these. It's got a scuff there, and it's a little dirty, but that hinge cap is yellowing a little. But yeah, it's in pretty good condition. Got another game I'll add to my collection here. Don't know what that is, but that's pretty cool. And so I have a stylus, pretty good, and I'll upgrade it to even better condition. It'll be sold for a pretty good price. Of course, I'll repair any issues with it. Alright, we have these 2 Game Boy Pockets. Alright, first off, let's see if the red Game Boy is working. We got some battery corrosion up in here, and yeah, that's pretty terrible. That's gonna need a pretty good repair video. Ouch. Yeah, the battery terminal is just completely gone. It's gone. There's no trace of it. Yeah, that's gonna need a bit of a repair. I'll take it apart to inspect the motherboard. Yeah, well, that was kind of scary. I'll fix it though. It doesn't look like the pad's damaged. Got this one. This one's in fairly worse condition. What's going on here? Got the terminal. We got power. This is one of the no LED models, so you actually can't tell if it's turned on without the screen doing anything. Yeah, that's gonna need a replacement of that. So these are kind of projects, I guess, that both need soldering. They're both the no LED model, so they're gonna get some really good IPS upgrades. Definitely gonna be a little bit of a chore for each of them. $15 a piece, you get what you expect. So yeah, look forward to trying to repair these. What have we got here? Fairly scratched screen. I'll list this as a fair condition unit. Thumbsticks are in fact yellowed. This one's gonna need probably a YouTube short about cleaning it, so, because I'm gonna be planning a lot of those, so this one's pretty scratched, yeah. But not as bad because it's a white one. Someday I'll probably get to polishing these shells, but I'll list this one up as a scratched and cosmetically worn unit. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Here we have some DS games. We got a Japanese copy of this, which is awesome. We got that, and then this. That's cool.